Thank you guys for joining. Thank you so much for joining. I'm just starting off with a short introductory video, and then we can move into the session.
हे दोस्तों, वेलकम टू अपना कम्युनिटी। ये वो जगह है जहां आप अपने असली पोटेंशियल को एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हैं। देखो, सबके पास स्किल्स होते हैं, पर क्या आपके अंदर वो स्पार्क है जो आपको कामयाबी की ऊंचाइयों तक ले जा सकता है? अगर आप सोच रहे हैं जॉब चेंज करने के लिए, लेकिन रेज्यूमे सेलेक्ट नहीं हो रहा, या फिर इंग्लिश में इंटरव्यू देना थोड़ा चैलेंजिंग लग रहा है, तो फिक्र मत कीजिए। यहाँ हम हैं आपके साथ, आपको सपोर्ट करने के लिए। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगी बेहतरीन कम्युनिटीज, जहां आप अपने प्रोफेशनल स्किल्स को सुधार सकते हैं। चाहे आप एक्सेल, टैली, जीएसटी में माहिर बनना चाहें, या फिर आप खुद एक ब्यूटिशियन या डिजाइनर हैं, तो यहाँ आप अपने काम को शोकेस करके दूसरों को टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स देते हुए आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगा मेंटर्स का एक खजाना और बड़े इन्फ्लुएंसर्स का साथ, जो आपको हर कदम पर 1-to-1 गाइड करेंगे। यहाँ आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं अपने फील्ड या इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक ग्रुप्स, जहां आपको ऐसे कई लोग मिलेंगे जिनसे सीख के आप वो गलती ना करें जो वो कर चुके हैं। ऐसे लोगों की जिन्होंने स्टार्ट किया था एज एग्जीक्यूटिव्स एंड आर नाउ सक्सेसफुल मैनेजर्स इन देयर डोमेन्स, जो आपको आगे बढ़ाने में मदद करेगा। यहाँ आपको मिलेगा वो सही डायरेक्शन जो आपके करियर को नेक्स्ट लेवल ले जाएगा। तो लेट्स अनलॉक योर पोटेंशियल टुगेदर। अपना कम्युनिटी में ज्वाइन करें और अपने सपनों की ऊंचाइयों तक पहुंचने का सफर शुरू करें।
Awesome. So hello guys, welcome. Thank you for taking time out on a Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock. So my name is Rohan, one of the co-founders of QFUS. QFUS is a mentorship aggregator platform, and we have partnered with Apna for Apna Exclusives community engagements. And as a part of this community engagements, we have been doing this for a while now as Apna Exclusives. Been doing this, the Apna Exclusives happen on weekdays at evening 7 p.m. and weekends at 3 p.m. The main idea is to help people ideate and advance in their professional careers, covering a wide range of topics. It can be as simple as spoken English, it can be a finance related domain or product, data science, interview preparation, and so on. And today we have Aman with us. Welcome, Aman. And we have the topic interview preparation and tips. Aman is a software engineer for a software engineer too for Microsoft, having almost 7 years of experience. And without much ado, I'll give it off to Aman. Aman, you can give a very brief description about yourself. We can get into the session. Just to give you a little heads up on the session, we can have a session. We can have a presentation for about 10-15 minute take up questions, and then another presentation for 10 minutes, and then take up questions and close the session. However you would like to do it. We'll just try to keep it more engaging. And we'll be
Yeah,
on the chat box, and you can also take up the questions from the chat box directly.
yeah. So, hello everyone. This is Aman, and it's great to be here, sharing my experiences and learnings along the way that I have accumulated for the past 7 years. I am SD2 at Microsoft, and it's great to be here. I hope this is helpful for you folks, and yeah, hit me up with all of your questions. What I will do is I will go through my PPT at once, and I can have like in the end we can have a Q&A session where you can ask any questions, and I'll try to answer all of those. Does that work?
Perfect. Yeah, that works.
Sure.
Thanks.
Let me share my screen then. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, visible.
Awesome. Cool. So yeah, so in this session we will be talking about tech interviews and tips and tricks, and like probably I'll help you guys to uh, like correct your mistakes, or probably share my experiences or the mistakes that I have made, so that you don't. So yeah, let's get started. This is me. I have already introduced myself, and you can contact me on any socials: Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. I have shared my handles here. So yeah, let's get started. So I mean, the first thing that in interview, while you are preparing interview, I wanted to talk about resume. Why resume? Because everyone talks about it, everyone has their own resume, and everyone knows about it. But why I am talking about it? Because you might have seen that even if you have a good resume, you are not getting calls for the interviews. And there are a lot of mistakes that students make, professionals make, and even I made when I was starting out. And resume was one of the most important things. However you prepare, whatever you do, if you don't get a chance to interview, then it does not matter, right? If you are like hell lot of a good engineer, hell lot of a good coder, but if you don't know, or if your resume is not getting selected, that means that there is something wrong, and you are not even getting chance to prove yourself to the interviewers, right? So let's get started. So we will be talking about different sections: names, contact information, skills, work experience, internships, projects, educations, all those kind of things. And if you are students, or if you are a final year student, and if you are just starting out, these are the things that you should have in your resume: name and contact details, education, skills, work internship if any, projects or open source contributions, your hackathon participations, course taken and certifications, and your unique achievements. We will talk about them in details, and we will also talk about how to place these details in your resume, right? Because the placement is also essential. You have to think from the perspective of a hiring manager, or like HR folks, or a recruiter, because they get thousands of resume, and like they have only 4 or 5 seconds to judge your resume. So how to make your resume relevant so that it catches their eyes and you are good to go for them, right? So there are a few things that you should not do in your resume. Irrelevant details, like age, marital status, or whatever. I have seen a lot of folks put some irrelevant details that is not like based on their skills, or like the role that they are interviewing for, right? No pictures or headshots. You do not want your picture in your resume, right? People want you to know from your skills, right? And it should not be a very catchy template including a lot of graphics heavy, so that it takes some time to even open up, right? So you should also not have those things as well, right? And 3 4 page resume, oh my god, like this is one of the like uh, most like thing that many students or many professionals do, that they have like 3 4 page resume. Like if you can't compress or your resume into one page, then like it's nothing, like because no one has the time to read like every your all of 3 4 resume, right? And the last thing is applying to jobs which are not related to your skills. This is one of the major mistakes that folks do, that they apply to each and every job openings that they see, and they get like down because they feel that their resume is not getting selected. You have to clearly see what are the skills that you have, and if there is a job opening, your skills are matching to those job descriptions or openings. And at least not all, but at least 3 4 skills like are matching, right? So for example, you are a front-end developer, you have experiences JavaScript, React, right? Or any other framework or any other thing, right? But if you are applying to a back-end role which like have the requirement of Java, Go, or any other language or any other skill, right? Then you are not a match, and it does not make sense if you apply to those resumes or those roles, right? So these are the things that you should think of not doing while in your resume, while you are creating your resume, or while you are applying. And here is the main thing. There is ATS, automation tracking system. I think that's what it is called. So many big companies have a like ATS on their like site, so that they even reject your resumes on the basis of machines, like how machines read. And what they look for, they look for relevant keywords, right? uh, and that's why you have to capture those keywords by listening, or by seeing the job description, and add those keywords into your resume. Highlight the skills. Suppose the job requirement has like data structure algorithms, JavaScript, React, and if you have those skills, highlight them in your resume, right? no headshot. Like if there are headshot, there are a lot of chances that ATS will remove that from the like the set of resumes that they have, and you are like just rejected then and there. Show impact of your work. Like just don't say ki I did some coding and I helped this coding. So impact means you did something, and what was the impact on the business or in the company. Like suppose if you created an API which improved the latency, so you can write like, okay, I worked on an API which improved the latency by 5%, right? So these are the impact that you did something and it resulted into something else, right, which helped the business, right? So if you show your impact, that what you did, what was the work you did that that created an impact, like that's awesome. If you are a college student, you can say that, hey, I created this app which has real life use, right? So if you are just creating some clone projects and other such kind of projects, they will not be helpful in this market because there are a lot of folks that do the same clone projects, right? So how you make your project unique, add some more features to that clone project. Yes, clone projects are important while you are learning, while you are getting a hang of things and all those things, right? But you have to create something unique, right? If you have to like put some feature, put some extra feature that is there, that hey, I created this clone project, but I utilized my skills to create this as well, which is not there, which is fun. Or you create a project which solves a real life problem, like you created a bug tracking system, right? If you are using social media, you created a tool which helps people to understand things. You created a, like if you use Twitter, you created a bookmarking section where you categorize all your bookmarks. So you have to like create some unique projects to like get ahead in the thing in the race. Use PDF. Yes, you should always have your resumes as your PDF, right? You should not give Word document or just send it whatever document you have. You should have PDF so that it's structured, it's there, all the relevant details are there, and less graphic. It should be as simple as possible. Yes, the formatting can be different, but it's not be very graphical that hey, your resume is like a like graph or something like this. It is very use graphic. It can be very simple because no one has the time to use the like graphic things in your resume or read all those things. Sometimes it is very catchy, but yeah, it's better that your resume is very simple and it showcases your skills and everything. You can also use ChatGPT to improve your resume, since now AI is there, and you can use tools like ChatGPT to improve your resume. You can like, what you can do is you can paste your contents of the resume and you can ask ChatGPT to rephrase that, to find any grammatical errors, to find any bullet points. Even you can use it to frame your impact, right? So since you have tools uh, at your service, you can use these tools to improve your resume, right? We will be seeing some examples as well, so that like it will be very helpful and very optimized thing. But yeah, if you have some tools at your service, you can do. There are a lot of free tools where you can create one resume or two resume, right? And they also provide those UI or AI experience. You can use those as well. I'll also be sharing a lot of uh, like websites which helps you in creating resume, right? So that like it will be easier for you to create. So we'll talk about that in later. So here are some of the best practices that you can use in resume, right? Do not use paragraphs, use bullet points, 1 or 2 line bullet points, so that like it is easier for people to read, understand, and get the effect in just 1 or 2 lines, right? And that's where you can use ChatGPT or other resources, right? You can see some other resumes as well, and I will be showing some templates like that, how people use bullet points so that like their resume is very effective. Quantify your achievements. As I said, you have to show your impact, right? That's where you have to quantify your achievements. You have to tell that what you did not just what your team did, but you have to identify what you did. What are the major modules that you work on, or what are the projects that you created, and what was your contribution? Sometimes in our colleges we have some major projects where a group of 3-4 folks work, but you don't have to show that what everyone did. You have to show what you did, because resume is all about you. You have to quantify, you have to use your achievements to make clear that okay, what you did. Okay, use strong action verbs, like impact, like show in, like strong action verbs can be like you improved the performance, you finish the task, you increase the business, or something related to that, right? You can use different templates to see how professionals use strong action verbs, and only relevant info with respect to job. So here the main point is that you don't have to use the same resume as every job that you are applying, right? If there are some skills that are there that is in your resume, and like not the other skills, so you can highlight those skills. You can take some keywords from the job description and you can like update your resume so that like it is relevant with respect to that job, so that it is relevant to the job. It bypasses the ATS, and it's like high in the ladder, and it catches the eye of recruiter. So that's what I always say, and that's the mistake I also used to do. I created a resume and I used to apply even though my skills were par with the job description, but I used to apply with the same resume at every job. And that's where like I figured out later that hey, I think I should do something, change something, update something with respect to that job description. So see the job description, see the job role, and see what you can include from those job description in your resume, so that when it goes through ATS, it searches for those relevant keywords and see that hey, your resume has those keywords, those skills. That means your number is high on the tracker, and it will not bypass it, but it will like categorize into one of the probables of resume or probables of the interviews, right? So that's a really important point to notice. As I said, use different resume for each job. Here different does not mean that you create resume every time, but you update your resume, you tweak your resume here and there, you make some changes relevant to the job, right? So that like it is like relevant, it is important for you to do that. Highlight job relevant skills. This is very important. Sometimes we have like a lot of skills that we learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, DSA, and OS and whatnot, right? But what if React or Angular or backend may Java, Spring Boot? So you have a lot of these skills, right? But what if the job requirement is for only backend developer? So you do not want to highlight HTML, CSS in that, right? You want to highlight you have worked on Java, so highlight the Java, highlight the Spring Boot, highlight the Go, right? Highlight your data structures and algorithms, because that will show that okay, you have these relevant skills to that job, even though your other skills are relevant, valid. But if you're applying to the other, like a role which has uh, only backend roles, so you highlight those things. Try to get reference. I think nowadays it is very important that okay, you should apply from LinkedIn, from their career space and whatnot, but try to get reference. Talk to people who are already working in those companies. Try to make a connection with them. Send their resume, right? And I will also talk about how you send a request to refer you on LinkedIn and on other socials, right? Because it is very important to get the referrals, because when someone refers you, your chances of getting an interview call becomes higher. It's not 100%, but it definitely becomes higher, rather than being your resume put in the stack of a lot of resumes, right? And update your GitHub profile. I mean, nowadays it is very important to have your GitHub profile updated. Put everything there, whatever you have worked upon. If you, even if you have solved 10, 15, 20, 100 data structure and algorithm questions, put it there. Whatever you do on your laptop, just put it on your GitHub and keep your GitHub profile updated. Because nowadays, like if you have a resume, you put your GitHub link there, so that like they can go and see, okay, whatever you are saying on your resume is correct or not, right? Having proof of work is really important. I will also talk about that. But yeah, having proof of work is really important, because suppose you created a project, right? You have written that, okay, I have worked on so and so project, but how would I know that whatever you are saying is correct or not? But if you have provided a link, ki, hey, I worked on this project and this is the link of the project in your resume, so I can go ahead and click and see, oh, like the person has already created a project and it looks really cool. I want to talk to this person. I want to talk how he or she did this, right? So it creates a like inquisitivity in the recruiter or in the hiring manager, that or the person who is seeing your resume, right? So all those things like create a really huge impact in getting calls for the interview, and it becomes really, they already get impressed by your abilities and your and your like prowess or whatever you have learned, right? So it becomes really important that your GitHub profile is updated. Every details is there, how to contact, like there are a lot of like new changes that have been there in the GitHub, where you can actually create your GitHub profile in such a way that it becomes your resume, right? So yeah, it's a really cool thing to do. Now let's look at some of the resume templates that I find very fascinating and really amazing. So there are two formats, and if you can see, they are quite famous. And if you can see, they have different patterns, but they're kind of same. They're very clean, very unique, not unique, very clean, very like to the point, and really amazing resumes, right? And I have used both of these at some point of time. I have used the right one as well, I have used the left one as well. So if you see the left one, you see four sections, right? Education, experience, projects, programming skills, right? And in the left one, what I did was, uh, even before education, I put programming skills first, because that's what recruiter sees, right? Your skills, where you are, what are your skills, whether you are comfortable or like relevant to the job or not. So that's the first thing. I'm sorry. That's the first thing that people want to see. What are your skills? So before education, you can put your skills, and that's what I do. The first thing I do is put my skills. That, hey, these are my skills. See if it is relevant to you or not, right? So put the skills, then your education, experience, and projects, right? If you don't have experience, you can put your internship experience, or if you don't have experience of working, or not even internship experience, you can like you can have projects, you can have your open source contribution, you can have your hackathon experiences, you can have anything, right? So this is how a resume should be, like very detailed. And if you see, whatever they have done, like in the TensorFlow section or in the Google section, they are saying that, hey, I was software engineer, I worked on TensorFlow, and this is I did, right? And like in the Coursera section, so see how they have like created a simple points, so that like they are capturing their impact and what they did with that, right? On the right side also, it's also a very good format, and it looks really good with respect to the left one. And see, links they have provided like everything: LinkedIn, Twitter, Quora. I don't think all of these are required, but you should definitely put your GitHub and LinkedIn profile there. And if you are active on Twitter, those three you can put. Then education, experience, skills. Here also skills are like in the lower side, but I would like again go ahead and put the skills on the top, and then education, and then the other things. Not everything is relevant, you can just remove that, right? If you are working, and if you have won some hackathons, if you won some awards, those are some unique things to you, right? So put this there, because those are your awards, those are your achievements. You should definitely put that. If you have any things, if you are like part of some tech community, and if you have done something, if you have volunteered something, just put it there, right? And definitely they are like add-ons to what you, but in my view, the main things that should be available on your resume is skills, education, work ex or internship experience, uh, your projects, and yeah, these four things should be there. And apart from that, if you are left with something that, hey, there is still some thing left, some space left, then you can put your achievements and any other things, right? And yeah, your second main important thing is your name, your contact details should be like correct. Like it should not be like, hey, I did not get the mail, or the recruiter was not able to contact you via email or via phone calls, right? So those details should be definitely there. So yeah, these are some of the things I wanted to talk very quickly about resume. And yeah, I think these are the some of the important things should be there. I've already talked about uh, you should keep your resume updated for every job role. Pick some relevant keywords from there. Do some research, what the job description is all about, what you can highlight. Here you can see they have not highlighted your programming languages, right? But what I do personally is I highlight that key. Okay, if you are a full stack developer, that means you know both front end and back end. But if the job role is for a back end, highlight all the skills of the backend, right? So that like it catches the eye key, hey, this person has this skill which is relevant to the backend, plus add-on skills of the front end, and that works in your advantage, right? So yeah, these are the things that you should always keep in mind. Here are some of the websites where you can build free resume. I think Overleaf, the second one, the Varya Das one, is there on Overleaf. So you can go ahead and uh, like make it. Indeed, Canva, Zeti, Enhance CV, Novo Resume. Some of them might charge you something, but I think at least one resume can be free for them. So you can try one of them. Okay. Now moving on to interview prep thing. Okay, so interview prep is really important, and that was the first thing, that your resume should be solid. Now moving on to your preparation, that how I can prepare so that I am comfortable in the interviews. There are a lot of things that you need to do in the interviews apart from your hard skills. Hard skills means technical skills, your DSA skills, your design skills, your soft skills should also be improved. How you communicate your things to the interviewer, how you are thinking, how you are saying things, what you are thinking, how you are getting the clues from the interviewer. All these things are also really important while you are in an interview, right? So you also have to focus on these things, and we will talk in detail about those. So there are a lot of uh, rounds that are there, but generally there are 4 or max 5 rounds, right? And these rounds are online assessment. Online assessment is like you get a link on HackerRank or some any other platform where you go ahead and solve some questions, and then you go into the interview, face-to-face interview rounds, right? So online assessment is the first. Sometimes instead of online assessment, you might get telephonic round where some recruiter or a technical person will ask you a few questions to get a feel about like how you are, how you talk, whether you are able to solve questions or not. So sometimes they get telephonic round. Then there are at least 2, 3, or 4 face-to-face rounds. That is, first round will always be DSA, whether it is like new person or an experienced person, it will be DSA. You will be asked some questions for DSA. You'll be asked to solve. You'll be asked to write clean code. You'll be asked to write production ready code. You'll be asked to like run the code on a simulator. You have to pass all the edge cases and all of that. Sometimes it happens that second round will also be DSA and some LLD if you are a new college graduate, right? If you're a fresher, some LLD concepts are also being asked these days because the competition has really increased. Then if you are experienced, then LLD and HLD, high level design and low level design questions will be there. And they are like really amazing rounds where you are asked a question that how will you make a system, how you will like judge the pros and cons of a particular system in HLD, how you will talk about those pros and cons and what to take and what to reject, right? In LLD, you will be asked to write the whole code where you have to write classes, you have to write how we'll create the database, and all your knowledge is like really tested in these 2 rounds. But it is for experienced folks, and for fresher graduates, they will not be asked much, right? But after you get 2 years of experience, 1.5 years of experience, you will be asked these questions. For students, definitely there will be a project round where whatever you have worked up in the project, like you will be asked that how you did this, how you took that decision, kind of talk about whatever you have done is correct or not, and whether you know what you are doing or not. And basic concepts of OS, networking, database, they are also asked from college students. So yeah, you also need to read those concepts in OS, networking concepts, how many layers are there, all those kind of stuff, database, consistency, and all those kind of stuff, transactional things, right? So you might have read all those things. You should be aware of that. And then the last round is basically managerial or HR round, where you like hiring manager talks to you whether you are fit for the team or not. Some they will ask some soft skill questions, some project questions, etc. But they are mostly like on the focus is on soft skills and everything, right? So if you are a college graduate, you might get 3 rounds if you are in college, or 3 or 4 rounds max. And you will not be asked LLD HLD law, but some concepts of LLD, like oops concept, like inheritance, classes, class structures, some parking lot questions, all those kind of things, right? So you will be asked, and definitely 1 or 2 round of DSA and one managerial round, right? So this is the overall rounds that we have in the interviews. So now that we are aware of all the rounds, now moving to DSA prep. I think this is the most important thing, because and I also faced when I was preparing in my college, I used to like fail or get rejected in the first round itself. That was online assessment round, because when I was in college, my speed was not good, even though I had correctness, but my speed was not good. And you have to prepare DSC really well, because at least 2 or 3 rounds will be based on DSA. And if you are not prepared for DSA, I think it will be very hard to crack interviews. So it is very important. Yes, some people don't like DSA ki, hey, why do DSA is, but it is what it is, right? And if in interview there is a DSA round, you have to go through with it. Some companies just take 1 round, some companies just take two rounds, or three, even 3 rounds, including online assessment, right? So most important part. And to prepare DSA round, if you are still in college, I will say that key. First, understand each data structure for what is array, what is linked list, what is tree, what are graphs, how they're implemented, DP, how you utilize DP, right? All those data structures you should first learn that what they are, how they are implemented. Solve question on the basis of first each data. If you are reading array, then solve 20-50 questions of array. If you are learning trees, solve 20-50 questions of trees, so that like you are comfortable with each data structure. Because in when question is asked, it's not asked on the basis of hey, just implement tree or just implement DFS, right? They are the extension of those things, the data structures or algorithms, right? So if your base, that means data structure itself, if you don't know how you can create a graph, then how will you solve the graph questions? So that's why it's really important that your base is really covered. You know all of these things. You know how to implement trees. You know how to implement graphs. You know how to implement DFS, right? And if some question comes which is extension of DFS, so you can think, hey, this question might require DFS, and it is just a tweak of DFS. I'll do some tweak, and the question will be solved. So for that, you need to have a knowledge of DFS, right? So yeah, that's how it is there. You should pick a language of your choice, definitely, if you are comfortable in C, C++, Java, Python, JavaScript, any language, but it should be really comfortable. You should not think about ki, hey, I don't know the syntax or whatever. Sometimes it happens that you are comfortable in Java or C++, but you code in some other language and you forget some syntax, right? And which is not very ideal scenario. So you should always pick a language in which you are really strong. You don't have to think twice about any of the syntactical thing, right? And implement data structural algorithms and solve topic wise. As I already said that if you are starting with array, solve array questions, 50 questions, 20 questions, 25 questions, until you are comfortable with array. Everything is there. Read some algorithms related to array, then solve some questions on top of that, right? So yeah. First, yes, definitely. There are 3 levels of DSA questions, that are easy, medium, and hard. Solve first easy questions, because then it will build confidence within yourself. Sometimes it becomes that, hey, I know, and I'll just start medium questions or hard questions. No. First solve easy question, 10 15 question which are easy, so that like your confidence is up, you are good. Because interviews are not just your tech, but it is all about psychology as well, how you are performing. You might have prepared really well, but sometimes you get nervous in the interviews, right? That's why like you have to have that confidence that, hey, I can do this, I can solve these questions, I have prepared well, right? So yeah, so first solve easy questions, then medium, and then go to hard questions, right? Keep practicing medium level problems, because mostly medium level problems are asked in the interview, in the face to face interview. And try to find patterns in the question. This is really important. Like when you are solving some questions, when you are practicing it, that's what will help you. Patterns. That okay, when you are solving topic wise, right, you know, hey, I am learning tree and I am solving a tree question, so you already know that I am going to apply some tree concept, right? But when you have learned all these things and when there is a question, you don't know what data structure you need to apply. So that's where you have to find pattern that, hey, oh, like if the question has that, if the array is sorted, so array is sorted means you might divide and conquer algorithm you might apply, because array is sorted, right? So that's how you have to find some patterns in the question. That if there is some tree questions, so you might see key. If there are some cities, then you might see key, okay, it might be tree or graph, and we might have to find minimum paths, right? So there are a lot of patterns which are there, and that you need to find the patterns in the question to map that, okay, I've solved this kind of questions, this is the pattern, and I need to go through these directions, right? And if you are going to solve hard problems, solve only those hard problems which are asked in interview, because you have a time limit to prepare, right? So you go ahead and solve hard questions if you are preparing for any companies like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, or any other company. See what kind of questions that were asked. Hard questions, you have to prepare smartly. You don't have to solve 1,000 questions to be good in DSA. You can solve 150, 20, 200, 300 questions, and if you prepare smartly, you will be able to crack that, right? So it's also important to prepare smartly. So that's why what I do is like I solve hard questions, only those hard questions which are asked previously in the interviews, so that like I get an idea that what kind of hard questions they ask, and then prepare accordingly. Okay, DSA, again, now I told you that we had to prepare topic wise. Now move to generic problems, because in topic wise, the issue is that you already know what kind of data structure you might be using, what kind of algorithm you might be using. But when you solve a generic problem, because in interviews generic problem will be asked, so you go to the generic problems and you try to figure out what kind of algorithm might be used, what kind of data structure, and that is the muscle that you have to build, right? Where you might see that, okay, this is the question, this data structure can be applied. Think about the problem, take some time to understand the problem, understand the edge cases. In interviews you will be given a question, right? So you have to understand the question. You don't have to assume anything. You have to ask questions, you have to ask clarifying questions. Key, what will happen if this edge scenario happens, what will happen if this happens? So that like you have to talk to the interviewer, right? You have to talk to the interviewer, you have to get all the information you can, so that like you are fully aware of the question, that what the question asks, what are the requirements, and what. And this is also checked while you are in the interview, whether you ask questions or not, whether you ask clarifying questions or not, whether you think of the edge cases or not. So all these things like gives pointers that, hey, this guys or this girl is really smart, they're asking these questions. Again, I am writing, try to find pattern in the question. This is very really important. Like if you are able to recognize the pattern in a question, DSA is done. Like you are ahead in the DSA itself. And participate in coding contest on lead code or various problems, because timing is also important factor, right? Because you will be given 40 45 or maximum 1 hour of time to solve 2 questions or probably 3 questions in some interviews, in online assessments. So when you participate in coding contest or like on various platforms, then your speed will be up, right? So you have to think fast as well, and you have to prepare for that from the start. So this is what I do, or what I did early. So if there was easy question, I used to give 30 minutes initially, right? But ideally they should be done in 15-20 minutes. So when you give a time after 30 minutes, just see why you were not able to solve it in 30 minutes, why you were not able to do that in the particular time, right? keep the timer, do this, and then see where you were lacking, right? Because this will only help you in your online assessment test. For medium, you can start with 55 minutes, but ideally they should be between 30 to 45 minutes. Hard question, ideally they should be in 40-50 minutes, right? Because sometimes there will be only one hard question in your face-to-face interview, and you have to solve that, and you only have 40-45 minutes of time, and then some discussions that happen. So you have to prepare from the start itself that, hey, these are the things that might come. You have to like create the environment of the interview while you are preparing, right? You cannot be like, hey, this is a hard question and you're taking 3-4 hours to solve that particular question. If it is not happening in 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes, then leave this. Try to see the like answers that why you were not able to solve it. What I used to do, if I am getting stuck somewhere, I used to write it. Hey, this was the question. I stuck at this. This is what I was not able to think. Because when you prepare notes, you will have a lot of help when you will be preparing for the next after 1 or 2 years. Your notes will be very important while revising, right? So you have to keep these things in mind. You have to create that atmosphere while you are preparing, so that like you are very comfortable in your interviews. And this is the most question: what if you are not able to solve a question? So read the solution of the problem. As I said, read the solution, note down where you got stuck, and I think I have noted these points as well. Understand what you couldn't understand or think, and note it down. Because noting it down, because what will happen if you are getting stuck somewhere, you will find a pattern in your like problem solving ability as well, and then you will be able to solve a problem. Until you identify the problem, you will not be able to solve the problem, right? So when you start taking notes, it will be helpful for revision as well, and to improve yourself as well. And the least of best of the things is practice. You have to practice DSA almost every day. I see folks in my company, or there are some friends in Google or in Amazon, they solve DSA irrespective of what they are doing in their job. They solve daily, or if not daily, weekly. They participate in the contest so that they're up to the speed. Even after 7, 8, 10 years of experience, folks do solve DSA question, and not because it is some thing, that because it's fun for them. And they want to keep their mind sharp, right? So you have to practice. So yeah, some of the resources, LeetCode, definitely you can go ahead and search for easy. You might know all these platforms: Geeks for Kicks, InterviewBit, Take You Forward channel, Blind75, Striver DSS. I think Striver is really famous for this. He's one of my friends as well. So I think you guys will see. Okay, so now this was the DSA preparation rounds, right? Now we will be talking about interview rounds, right? We will be talking about mistakes to avoid. We'll talking about some of the good practices, how you introduce yourself, how you should ask questions, whether you should do company research or not. I'll prepare some questions for the managerial rounds as well. Because in one of the companies, I cracked all of the rounds, right? All of the DSA rounds, all of the design rounds, and I failed in the managerial round because I don't know what happened, but I couldn't clear the last round. See, after 6 rounds of Grueli, I could not clear the last round. So it's very important that you do not take the managerial or HR round like less seriously. You have to take it really serious, right? So as we say, na, ki, the match is not over until last ball is being bowled. So that's how it is, right? You have not cracked the company until you have cracked the last interview round. Whether it is easy or hard, it does not matter, right? So here are some of the mistakes to avoid. Don't be late, obviously. Not dressed well, having background, right? For online, if there is online interview, you have to dress well. You should have good background. There should not be noise. You should be dressed well, right? There should be enough. Keep your phone there as well. Sometimes power cuts may happen, so keep your phone handy so that you can join via your phone hotspot, everything. You should not jump to the solution. As I said, you have to, if given a question, first try to read the question, ask clarifying questions, that hey, what will happen if this is the scenario, what will happen if there is some doubt regarding question, ask that. People do not judge you on asking questions. People judge you that like you did not ask questions. So yeah, using jargon words. Don't use jargon words. Okay, suppose some AI is happening and if you're using LLMs and everything, right? Don't use jargon words. If you know, then definitely you should talk about them. But if you don't know, hey, what is reverse proxy? I was reverse proxying these things, and you don't know in detail or in depth about reverse proxy, then it will like backfire on you, right? You should not lie on your resume or like in your projects that I did. You liked about something and you did not do the work behind the scenes, right? So you should not do that because interviewer will be able to catch your lies. So yeah, these are the mistakes you should definitely avoid. Now talk about practices. Definitely ask clarifying questions. Thinking out loud. What it means? It means that when you are solving a problem, you are saying what you are thinking, right? You're saying that okay, I'll use this data structure, I will use this algorithm. Uh, if this is the edge case, this will happen. So that interviewer will listen to your thought process. That what is your thought process? And sometimes it happens that when you go into the wrong direction, they nudge you in the right direction. And how they nudge you? They nudge you by asking questions that, hey, what will happen if this is the scenario? Then you have to think. So you have to be aware that they're not just asking questions, but they are also giving you hints that you are going into the right direction. It will not always be the case that you are going into the wrong direction and they are asking question. If you're also going into right direction, they can ask you questions. But asking question, if they ask question, that's a good thing because then you know, and you have to be aware that hey, yeah, I was making a mistake, and then you move on and you go on the right path, right? Don't assume anything. As I said, you don't have to assume. Ask questions. What will happen in this sense? Understand the hint. As I said, if they ask question, if they are trying to give you some hint, understand that. Try to focus on what they are asking, what they are talking about, and then probably you have to. They will not say, "Okay, I'm giving you a hint." They will give you a hint by asking questions, by talking to you, by discussing with you, all those kind of things. If you don't know anything and if they ask, you can say no, but don't use fancy word or try to hide it. I think this is my personal opinion that if you don't know about something and if they ask you about question, you can say no, that hey, I did not read it or did not study it, but I will read about it and I'll come up with it, right? Introduce yourself well. Be very well, have a introduction handy, right? You have to keep introduction handy that hey, I'm this, I have worked on these projects, and your introduction should bring out some of your qualities as well, right? So like you are good at this, you are good in leadership, you like coding, or you like participating in hackathons, or you like contributing to the open source. So while introducing, show your interest in the company, or probably research the company, right? Ki what the company values, and add those values in your introduction. Ki hey, I like transparency, I like collaborating with folks, right? And if the company says that ki we value collaboration, and during your introduction you say that you also like collaborating, then you are the perfect candidate, right? So it gives an impression, a psychological advantage to you. So you have to think about these little details, little things as well, and research the company. Definitely when you are being interviewed for a company, you have to research about them, you have to read about them. What are their businesses, what do they value, what are their like value system, if any value system matches with your value system, all those kind of things. Just some pointers, you can note it down, put it on paper, and like try to uh, get your introduction ready and learn from the mistakes. Like yes, you will make mistakes, definitely you will get rejected in some interview. When I was preparing, I got rejected in 8 to 9 interviews. I was even rejected by Microsoft initially, Amazon initially, and 3 4 months later I cracked all of them. So you have to like have faith, belief in yourself that you can do it, and definitely you will crack the interviews. Okay, so this was all about interviews. I have been talking about like constantly about like a lot, but yeah, we are going to towards the end, and in the end we will have a Q&A session where you can ask questions. Now let's talk about LinkedIn, how you can utilize LinkedIn to at your advantage and get the interview calls, because this is what it is for, right? First things first, update your profile. Here I want to have you to have a very good headshot picture, not on your resume but on LinkedIn, definitely, right? Use AI, good background, not some fuzzy background. Use good headshot photo with AI. Update your profile, update your experiences, update your learnings, update your skills, about section, what do you like, good headline, that what you like, update your contact info so that if someone sees your profile, they are able to contact you. All those relevant details first. Your LinkedIn profile should be up to date. That's it, 100%. There should not be simple as that. Your LinkedIn profile, your GitHub profile should be updated, right? So these are the things that you have to do. Internships that you have done, your resume as well. If you go, you can attach your resume as well, or probably add your drive link, put your resume on drive. You're all relevant because you want people to come to you, right? They should not have difficulty in finding you, right? So if as a recruiter, I like your profile and I see that your LinkedIn profile is not updated, I cannot, there is no way I can contact you, there is no way I can call you, there is no way I can see your resume, what are your skills, if you have made any projects, if there is some GitHub profile. So these things really backfire on you. So all those things should be there, right? How to search for jobs, this is one of the important things. So now you have updated your LinkedIn profile. Now how to search for jobs, use search bar, as simple as that. Go to search bars, type software engineer roles, right? Use keywords like software engineer or backend developer or front end developer. Filter post, see, filter by last 7 days, last 24 hours, last 2 days, right? Contact the recruiters, reach out to folks who are there, give them formulate a good message and send it out to them. Send every detail, right? Find people of the same company, referrals, right? And with a personalized message, interact with their content if they are active. And don't ask referrals to folks who have like 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 followers. Go for people who have 5k followers, 6k followers, 8k followers, 10k followers, so that they will be able to help you. Because for 50k, 1 lakh k folks have, they might have a lot of DMs and they might not able to see you, right? So you have also to think that whom to reach out to, right? And send every detail. Like if you are coming to me that, hey Aman, refer me to Microsoft. So I don't know which profile to refer to. I don't know how I can refer you. What are your credentials, right? So you have to come up with hey, Aman, I am this. Currently, I'm in final year. These are the projects I have worked upon. This is my resume. I want you to refer me to this job ID. You have to make it easier for me so that like I can just refer you in 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes, right? If you say to me, hey, refer to me this, and you're not giving me your resume. So all those kind of mistakes I have also done. It's not that I have not made, but I have learned over the years that you have to make it very easy for the people you are asking the referral, right? And in that sense, you have to provide every detail, all of the details that you have to provide. So yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, you can also add alerts for any job. So it's really important that if there is some job openings in a company, you apply then and there. Like because in one day, in 4 or 5 hours, hundreds and thousands of applications go, right? And if you are one of the early applicant, then your chances of getting an interview call is really high. So for that, you can add alerts, such like notifications you get from any social media. You might get notifications from your LinkedIn profile as well, right? And make it as a habit of using LinkedIn. If you have still not gotten a job, and if you are still looking for it, make it a habit. Just like you use Instagram, use LinkedIn while you are looking for a job, and just see that if there are openings, if there are some DMs that you have to send, if you have to look out for people, all of those things. Use search bar, yes. Add quotes and use booleans. Like you can also booleans key software engineer and software engineer under quotes, and backend developer. Yeah, you can write the location in Bangalore, right? Software engineer and Bangalore. So you will get all the relevant details of software engineer openings that are in Bangalore. or in Hyderabad or in Delhi, whatever. So you have to use the search bar very effectively to get this. And career pages, definitely. LinkedIn is not the only place where you will get the job opportunities. Careers.microsoft.com, careers.google.com. Apply by yourself as well, right? All these things are there. Career pages. Go to each company's career page, any like Intuit career page, Microsoft career page. You will get the link, right? You can use Naukri, Indeed, all these other platforms as well. So put your resume, update your resume on each platform, on every platform that you can. Because you want to get the job, you have to like make yourself available everywhere, right? So that like the folks can reach out to you. So this is one of the major aspects of looking out for a job. Now hackathons, this is mainly for college students because they get the time to do hackathons. Like some other opportunities, like what you can do is share what you are learning. So if you are learning some React, so just share what you learned today. That like suppose if you learned about some classes or some functions or some stores, right? So share about what you learned. If you created some project, share the project. Ki, hey, I created this project. Share the video that what your project does. Share the link. Upload your project or probably host it on Netlify, right? So I'm just giving you an examples on ways to use social media to your advantage. Like you can use it, you can share whatever your learnings on LinkedIn, Twitter. Like a lot of folks have got job opportunities that I know just by sharing whatever they are learning, right? Share basic. It doesn't have to be really cool thing. Just basic update. Ki, hey, today I learned these things. Today I solved this DSA question and it was fun. And how did I solve it? I did it by this, right? So keep learning, keep sharing. Share the workable link, workable video. If you have created some cool project, share the video, share the link, and host it on some platform. So that like if I am able to see, hey, this video looks cool. Let's see what are the other things it does. So proof of work is really important nowadays. Where if you are saying that I know React or I know backend, then you should be able to back it up. And it's great that if you are sharing your proof of work. Make connections. Talk to people who are in the same boat as you. Prepare by joining communities or groups. Use it at advantage. If you are able to do it by yourself, then that's great. But if you want some people to keep you on your toes, then you can join or you can make connections with people who are in the same boat as you. That hey, I am also learning. You are also learning. Let's make a group or let's try to be helpful to each other, right? So all these things. Hackathons, I'm not sure whether I should talk, but yeah, hackathons, you should learn skills. You should participate in hackathons where you will create a product. Best part of hackathons is not about like winning. If you win, that's an added advantage. But here you get to build something based on your skill, and it becomes a project in itself, right? So that you have like multiple advantage if you are participating in hackathon. And you do it quickly because sometimes hackathons are only 1 day or 2 day event, right? So in 2 day you get to build a really cool project which you thought of and based on the theme, and then you got a project which you can add it on the resume or share the link, right? So brainstorming ideas, like working solution. Your team should be like that. If you want to win the hackathon, you should create a team in which there are people with different skill sets. Like if you're a front-end developer, then there should be a back-end developer, then there should be a person who knows how to design things, all those kind of things, right? That's how you win hackathons. Keep researching about hackathons so that like if you find those things, and this is mostly for college students, as I said, like who are in second year, third year. If you are in final year, then I don't think you might have so many times for hackathon. I think you can do that definitely, but yeah, if you like developing, if you like building, then hackathons are the place for you. Brainstorm ideas, like try to come up with something new. As I said, if you create a unique project and a new project which is not there, then it becomes really really amazing to have it on your resume, right? So all those kind of things. Okay, there is one more round in interview preparation, is the MCQ round. When I was in college, I remember I faltered in 2-3 MCQ round itself, and I was not able to solve questions. So practice them as well. See previous years questions and practice. Study the basic concepts like OOPS, DB, networking, or sometimes those questions are there. sometimes they try to figure out what will be the output of this particular code, or what is the wrong in this particular code. So you should also practice them. Practice helps. And what are the resources? You can go to the Gigs for Gigs, and like you can find out. You can just Google it, MCQ questions asked in tech interviews or in colleges or whatever. You can get all those kind of things. So yeah, I think I have covered everything from start to end. I think I have been very descriptive about how to approach things, how to do things. But yeah, I think I'm done here, and we can go to Q&A. Over to you.
Thanks, Aman. What we can do is, it was a detailed session. Thank you so much again. People who definitely have questions and answers, you can either put it on the chat box, or you can just go ahead and unmute yourself and check it out. We'll take us some Q&A for the next 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll wrap it up because we're already post time.
Yeah. Oh, I talked for 1 hour straight.
Yep.
Man.
That's a lot of information.
Yeah. I'm sorry if we are over time, but I just wanted to give every detail so that it is helpful.
Wait for the questions. Meanwhile, while we wait, guys, I've posted a link on the chat box for any feedback for the session, and also a link for the Apna Exclusives recordings, where you'll find the recordings, and not only of this session, but of any other session that has been happening over the last month. So please feel free to register yourself and access the recordings, and also please give your feedback, which will help us improve.
I can stop sharing now, right?
Yeah, you can stop sharing. Yeah, we'll just wait to take up some questions if there are any, or we can close it in another. Okay, yeah, you can check the chat box. There are some questions coming up.
Yeah. Okay. Does the company create their own question every time, or based on previous questions? Also, how many questions are required to pass out? I mean, are you talking about DSA question or MCQ questions? If you are talking about MCQ questions, then it's not same every time. Like it's different, and sometimes in online assessment, the competition is so high that you have to solve every question. So if you have 3 questions, you might have to solve 3 questions, because if suppose 1,000 students are participating and you have solved 2 questions, and 50 or 100 students have solved three questions, then I think they will be preferred over you, right? So better to have all the questions solved. You cannot think. Sometimes it happens that even if you solve 2 questions, you are in, but don't leave it to that chance, right? Try to be like better and solve every question. I hope I answered your question. Does the company create their own question every time, or based on previous question? I think I answered it already. I mean, in face-to-face interview, it is up to the interviewer what questions they ask, right? If it is a DSA, they can ask any type of questions. But if it is online assessment, then definitely the questions are different every time, and based on, no, it's not previous question. Some questions might be same, some questions might match, but like you don't have to worry about that. If you are good enough, you will be able to solve questions. How to prepare Flutter developer? I don't want DSA. Okay, so I have not been a Flutter developer, so I cannot talk about that. I think if someone is Flutter developer, they will be able to guide you. But if you don't want DSA, then probably a lot of tech companies ask DSA. So I think DSA is not a language specific thing, right? It's a basic concept that you have to learn, and you use all of those things, whether you are a Flutter developer or any other developer. But yeah, it's up to you. But yeah, I would recommend to learn DSA, because this is very basic, and every computer engineer should learn. Is there any good, reliable mentor-based platform for learning you suggest? Many recorded courses I did not finish. Platforms. See, I do not recommend any platform. I will just recommend whatever I use. I use Geeks for Geeks really well, because I am more into reading than watching the videos. I think reading for me is a bit faster than watching videos. Yes, I watch videos for some questions or for some concepts to run. And mentor based platforms, I'm not sure, I have never used it, and that's why I cannot recommend. Many recorded courses I did not finish. I think there are enough free resources out there that you can learn from, right, on YouTube and on other platforms. And yeah, I think it's very hard to finish courses. I understand, as a student you go into tutorial hell and you do not finish. Even I have not finished many courses. But see whatever works for you. If you are more into building stuff and then learning, then do that. If you are just doing in parallel while watching the video, I think you get bored. So you have to find a way to uh, see that how you cannot get bored and how you can go ahead. Does Indian IT company also ask? Does doesn't also does MNC ask system design questions to freshers? I mean, it's good to have some basic low level designs and oops questions, because lately I have been seeing they ask. And IT company, yeah, I think every IT company asks DSA questions, I think. Some startups might not, but they also ask. At least one round they have, and they focus more on your development part. But yeah, I mean, every there is a DSA question asked in every online assessment is DSA questions mostly. You might get some MCQ question and one DSA question, but DSA question gets asked. Yes. So if we see us as a data analyst role as a fresher, so DSA, I am not sure about that. I can also talk about the software engineer roles. I don't have any friends as well who is a data analyst. So I'm sorry, I cannot answer that question. Because I do not want to give wrong information or wrong hope or wrong anything to that. It's better, because little knowledge is a dangerous thing. So yeah, I will not provide anything I don't know. So you can Google it, or probably Rohan can help you out with other mentor. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, that's it. I think I have gone through every question.
Thanks. Thank you so much, Aman. Thank you, people, for joining in on a Sunday again.
Yeah.
I will again see you for tomorrow's session with another mentor. So until then, see you. Bye-bye.
Sure. Thanks everyone for joining, and thank you, Rohan, for having me. Nice. Thank you. Bye.